All right, well, it's Dr. Gordon and Lynda coming at you from Southeastern Fertility Facebook Friday, baby.
Happy Friday!
Happy Friday. Happy Friday. So,
Yay.
man, I'm not taking any patients who are fans of University of South Carolina, right?
Oh,
You
dear.
know,
Dear.
Tennessee and Clemson.
You got
Going down there for that game. It's like that book. I can't remember which golfer wrote the book, A Good Walk Spoiled, about the game of golf. You know, that described golf as a good walk spoiled. Like that was like a good football afternoon spoiled by football. I'm telling you, it was sad.
But you can't bring the football in here to eliminate patients.
I can. Just be advised, you wear a South Carolina hat in my office, we're going to have a little chat. Do you use analgesia for egg collections? On most patients. Does an endometrial biopsy hurt? Most of the time it doesn't. I would never hold somebody's football loyalties against them in the fertility world.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that.
Good.
I think about it, but I would not actually do it.
Okay.
Wouldn't do it.
That's good.
Wouldn't do it. Not gonna do it.
Not
Wouldn't be prudent.
gonna
Wouldn't
do
be
it.
prudent. Not gonna do it.
Not
Exactly.
gonna do it.
Not gonna do it. And, well, anyway, we've got some Christmas music going in the office.
Love it.
That's right. So we set up little Google Nests in strategic places around. So
Yeah.
the Chinese Communist Party can be listening in on everything we're doing in the
Right.
office. So
That's
it's
right.
like
They are.
they are. You just never know. So, but it's in general, it seems to be working pretty good.
Yeah.
You didn't like the short playlist because you were getting like that whatever their
Susie
song.
Snowflake.
Yeah, it was just like 3 times. Lynda just started to go postal. So I was like, when her eyes started
No,
switching,
it was too,
like I'm just saying, yeah.
it was 2 days. 2 days.
See, I have a gun.
Of
I
Here
know
Comes
how to
Susie
use it.
Snowflake.
Exactly, right. So, yeah, so today we had a little music, and then I'm thinking
And I
after,
have to tell you,
yeah,
I didn't know how to work those, and I blasted a patient out. The first time I touched it in one room, the volume lowered 1 notch, which was great. So I thought all you had to do
Yeah.
was put your hand over it. So the next patient, it was a little bit too loud, and I put my hand over it. It got louder.
yeah.
I put my hand over it, got louder, louder, louder. I thought, well, surely it's going to go to 0. You know, like make a circle, like get louder, louder, louder.
There is the ENT office that does hearing aids
They probably need
in
it.
the back parking lot. So that you know,
I
we
don't
could
know whose face was worse,
just
mine or hers.
looking to get some referrals from the audiology folks. Like, how long have you had the hearing disorder?
Now he's taught me how to work it. So
That's right. Now
I
we've
won't
done it.
blast anybody
You have
out
to
anymore.
decide, though, I mean, after the 1st of January, is it Mondays, 70s, Tuesday, 80s, Wednesday, Christian Contemporary? I mean, how are we going to do that? We're going to have to really think about this.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. Anyway,
or draw for it.
draw for it. Anyway, so today on Facebook Friday, Dr. Keenan, when he came back, we showed the picture of Paris where I had a nice little vacation, and Dr. Keenan had slogged it out to Anaheim for the ASRM meeting. And he always comes back with some interesting things. So this one that he brought back, and I'll just show you that. This is recurrent pregnancy loss for those of you who want to freeze the screen. And this is a group of patients that it's very hard. It's very hard to go through losses. We went through three losses between our last 2 kids, and you're not really prepared for that, especially if you haven't had a loss, and it's just, and of course, then when you had it, then it's so hard because you start waiting for, when's this one going to be lost, right? And of course, in my own family, I mean, my mother had several miscarriages, and they went to see Dr. Rubin in New York City, the inventor of the Rubin test, and Rubin cannula, and Rubin this, and Rubin that, most famous gynecology in the country at the time. And his pronouncement was, you will never have a child, so just go adopt a war orphan. And they were headed over to Europe. My dad was chief of surgery at 7th Army Hospital in Trieste, Italy. After 1 year of training, I point out, but that's okay.
I might have heard that before.
He was very skilled, and they've been told that don't even just give it up, and then ended up with a successful pregnancy, and delivered my brother Michael, and he's just retired after a successful career himself in general surgery, so he's like relatively okay, I guess. General surgeon, but but it was amazing. But they've been told like there was no hope.
Older than you, because you're not ready to retire.
No,
not yet.
Nowhere close.
But I mean that's now but they were, and I remember talking to my dad, and I just said, what would have been the biggest disappointment? He said, to not have kids, and they were prepared to adopt, but they were just blessed with 3 children, and in spite of that dire pronouncement. And my dad, I mean, he just hated that man. Like to the day my dad died, he hated him because he said, "What an idiot." I told him, I mean, not even sort of waffling of like it could be difficult. It's like no hope. There is no hope. And I was like, wow, I want to be that doctor, right? Right. So it's kind of like Hair Club for Men. Like not just the owner, I'm also a customer, right? You remember those ads, right? So it's kind of that. You just have a recurrent pregnancy loss phase. I'm like, listen, I'm glad my patients I'm glad my parents persisted. My patients do too, but my parents persisted, and here we are. So here we are. So again, for pregnancy loss patients, I think it is they do feel, I think sometimes that they're a little bit alone, and again it's this support group I think is nice. I mean, it's one of the advantages of the internet. I mean, right? I mean, the internet is not all bad.
No.
Just most of it.
So it's virtual. It's a virtual support group, apparently.
That's right. So I think that's great. It's great for patients to realize you're not alone in doing that, especially around the holidays, right? The holidays are hard, right? I mean, your emotions are hard, and you thought like, well, this year, this will be my year to have a child at, at Christmas time, and if it's not the way it worked out, they're so hard, and then all of a sudden it's here, right? So So we understand.
And the thing about this, those support groups are people that have been through it.
Right.
Like you said, you have been through it, so you've kind of been on that end of it. You know a lot of the emotions people go through, even though everybody's a little bit different.
Right.
But these are people going through the same thing, and I think that makes a total difference rather than just a support group that is just for infertility only.
Right. You walked in
so
those.
It's more specialized.
You haven't walked that walk. You walked in their shoes. I think it's hard to understand just how tough that can be.
Right.
And I remember, our oldest son, he was born 6 weeks early, and I remember I had been unprepared as an OB/GYN to feel how I'd feel about a premature birth, right? And I knew at 34 weeks he'd be fine, but he did spend a couple days in the NICU and then like a week or so in the intermediate nursery. So that feeling of not taking your baby home from the hospital, I had been unprepared for that, and it was this labor and delivery nurse, with her big, like 8.5-pound baby showing to everybody. I'm like, I hate that nurse. I mean, I can viscerally feel, it's just hard, right? Because it was like, she just walked in and, baby's out, and then she's showing everybody, and that's great. My kid's in the NICU,
Imagine when you have to leave the hospital before your kid, you just feel like you're abandoned.
Yeah, it's so hard, right? It's so hard. Imagine. Yeah, it's so I'm just saying, I've been there for that, and I know that's difficult, and that's why, again, it's just, to not really understand until you go through it what the emotions will be. So I've been there. That's why the patients are like, I want twins, Dr. Gordon. I'm like, I'm not sure you really know what you're asking for in terms of that, right? Because of course that a lot of times the twins are going to be staying behind. They are going to be staying a little behind. So not all of them, right? I mean, there is ways. I mean, just did great. You see, Mark, front page of the Farragut Press, man.
I knew you'd be pleased.
We're done. Yeah, we're done. I I read the Farragut Press. I love looking at the Farragut Press. I appreciate them putting us on the front page. That was awesome.
It was great.
But now our work here is done.
Our work here is done.
Right? So we don't have to worry about any more television interviews, French TV, BBC, Sky News. Right? We're good. We've done the Farragut Press.
You go on Sky News?
Yeah.
My husband watches Sky News. I'm surprised he hadn't said anything.
Dr. Gordon was all over the place last week.
Maybe.
Good Morning America, Today Show.
Yeah, it was good.
No, I'll take that back. I think he did see it.
Did it? Yeah. But then the news cycle turns and we're on to something else, right?
Yes, we're on the.
That's right. But it was a great story. It was exciting.
It was.
It does catch people's imaginations, right? So
they will be on News Nation this weekend.
Oh, News Nation.
In the 6 o'clock Central Time hour, 7 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
News Nation, if you get News Nation.
All right,
Used to be WGN.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So that should be the last.
I got it. Okay.
That should button it up.
All right. Well, I'm here this weekend. Are you here this weekend? No, you're not.
Mary's here.
You're off. Mary's. All right. So, going into the cycle. Finish strong.
I'll be busy. I'll be
Great,
here next weekend.
yeah,
with
great
you.
cycle. Last month was a great cycle. Lots of pregnant. Really happy.
Yes.
For those who didn't get pregnant, not happy, but
Yeah.
we had some really good outcomes, so we're really happy about that. And final cycle of the year, going into 2023, Lynda.
Yeah.
Make those New Year's resolutions. Please feel free to share with Lynda the New Year's resolutions she should be doing.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
You could get a lot of them.
And mine too. Don't say a lot. There you go. There we go. I wish you all a wonderful weekend. For those suffering from recurrent pregnancy loss, check that out. Let us know your feedback.
Hang in there.
Hang in there. That's right. We're with you. We understand. And I hope you all enjoy a wonderful shopping weekend before the pressure starts to ramp up. How many shopping days till Christmas?
I don't know if there's calendar.
Is second. Right?
Well,
22.
it depends.
22.
Do you do yours on Christmas Eve?
Sometimes. Sometimes I do Christmas morning. Get up
I
real
used
early.
to do every bit of mine
There you
Christmas
go.
Eve afternoon.
There you go. Hey,
It was
it's the best
awful.
sales, right?
Good sales, but
All right.
very stressful.
All right. Well, until next week, Dr. Gordon Lynda saying, are you even done?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.